I thought it might be useful to include some things in regarding to keyword research I feel a lot of people don't use or don't think about enough in regards to search engines itself can be basically one of the best places you can actually learn how good or how bad your competition is for different keyword or keyword phrases. In an example here, I'm basically using Yandex. Yandex, in case you don't know, is simply a Slavic search engine. A lot of people in Russia or people in former countries of the X series are basically will use that quite often compared to Google in some cases. Not always, but some people do. So you'll have slightly different rules which work in Yandex compared to Google and other search engines. Each search engine themselves have basically different ranking factors in most cases. These can be anything from small to big differences in regards to how exactly work. For example, with Yandex is a good example. So how exactly do we rank well in Yandex? Well, Yandex itself is actually one of the best things actually to teach you how to rank. So why exactly would I say that? Well, simply put like this. Let's just say you basically make a Yandex webmaster account. You basically it's like that's their version like a search console analytics kind of stuff. You make their one. What can you do? Well, Yandex itself actually will tell you the right ways to rank in Yandex. So you can actually, in quite a lot of cases, follow what Yandex says, and that will allow you to rank for different keyword or keyword phrases in Yandex. So it actually will tell you in more all cases how exactly to rank well in Yandex. It will just tell you from the console or the data you're being presented. That itself can be quite cool if you've never done it before. So if you've never used Yandex, I would recommend it. I know you get as well Bing sort of version as well. The Bing version sort of, in the middle. I wouldn't really say it's that important to you, but I would still submit your website to it. It's just something good to do either way, even if you're not using it too much. You can still get different data from basic Google, Bing, and Yandex. So it's good sometimes to have all three or at least two of them. If I was going to say the two to have, I would recommend you go with Google and Yandex. The reason for why I would pick Bing is Bing itself generally is not as good. It gives you information, definitely. You should use it. But if you had to pick two, that's the two I'd pick. So in the sample here, I just typed in one of my website's brand names. So you can see there, according to that, I'm like fourth. So why exactly am I not first for that? Well, for one, my site itself is not actually targeting people in Eastern Europe, just it's a fair amount. So it does make sense I'm only fourth. But if I did say want to outrank this one, space level dot agency, basically all we'd have to do is, if that's what I really want to do for some reason, I basically just have to have higher quality stuff on my page. I'd have to do a bit more link building on them. I would probably be able to rank them. One of the things you have to watch, and this is a key thing, particularly in Eastern Europe, you have to be aware of, which may annoy some people. Hrefs and a lot of SEO softwares, they don't really tell us in a lot of cases what backlinks basically exist in Russia, what ones exist in Ukraine, Serbia, and Eastern European countries in quite a lot of cases. Poland itself you'll generally find quite a lot of links from Poland, but other Eastern European or Slavic nations, in quite a lot of cases, it won't show you, which can get a bit annoying if you are actually trying to, rank in this industry or this country or these areas. So what can you do if you can't find out what links are? So how do we, overcome it? Well, simply put, you have to do basic proper SEO. You've got to basically do as good quality on page as you do. This basically means including fast speed, a beautiful site. That's something you'll have to work in Eastern Europe. A lot of people who are doing website designs are generally incredibly smart and incredibly talented, some of the best in the world. And I'm not just saying that to be nice. If you check out some sites made in Slavic nations, you'll find the quality in a lot of cases is fantastic. Even how the design captures, to be fair in them, is often high quality. For example, I sometimes actually do a capture I find a bit fun because the design style they have is so fun. It's almost like you're playing a game, a video game, but obviously capture style. You have to solve a mystery, play a game, that kind of stuff. It can become kind of quite fun. You also find in some Slavic countries, you'll find rather than the standard thing, type in this little message, it'll be something like this, who's say the leader of his country, who's the most famous car inventor, something like that. So you will generally have to know some level of speaking their language to be able to do it. If you can't, if you really can't, but you really want to do it, you can find people who can do the work for you if that's what you need. So it can be useful in some cases, but you might think about, I'm not wanting any traffic from, Eastern Europe. I would still recommend you get some links from Eastern Europe. It's basically a gold mine full of amazing sites, basically. I'm not saying every site's amazing, please no, but there's a lot of good ones. So anyway, getting back into this, to basically do research in most cases, we have to type in our brand name or the keywords we're trying to rank for. That's a key principle of how exactly we work out what we're trying to, for example, trying to rank for. So Let's just say we're trying to rank for the keyword health, for example, purposes. Let's type health in and see what we get. Okay, cool, that's back. So, in example of Yandex, we can say, according to them, most important site at the moment would be davidpneal.medium. So, a subdomain is one of the most popular ones at the moment. But Medium itself is a very powerful site as well. Wikipedia is a powerful site. Newsworldencyclopedia.org is a powerful site. Health.com is a powerful site. Let's go down a few more so we can get so we can see translate.yandex is coming up. That'll be hard to beat. What is health? Mind.help is quite a good site. My Tribe Insurance is a powerful site. Quora will be hard to beat. And then crossaslav.ru will be hard to beat. marlinwebster.com be hard to beat. So, if we were, say, going to try and do this thing, would this be a good idea? Probably not, unless you got a big budget and you're willing to spend a lot of time and effort to obviously outrank these sites. Because health, the keyword, is quite a powerful word. Because it's quite a powerful word, if that is what you want or your client does, you'll have to have a serious level of budget, or if not, it's not worth you trying. Everything basically goes back to what exactly you can spend or invest time wise or money wise for it being plausible for you to rank or outrank a competitor in this niche, whether it's health niche, whether it's a marketing niche, or anything else. You have to do a basic research. The basic research basically starts from we type into Google, whatever keyword or keyword phrase we're trying to outrank. Then we check out the stats. We check out what's its metrics. Metrics itself is sort of like a funny thing. I wouldn't say rely on metrics 100%, but be aware metrics themselves are not what Google itself relies on. Google itself has a completely different algorithm for how it works compared to SEO softwares. And even we're going to say some of the metrics from Google and other SEO softwares are the same, there will be some. We still can't purely base our thoughts on ranking based on a metric, because you can, in most cases, corrupt our ranking metrics from DA to TA quite quickly by just simply link building. Because one of the big parts of what governs, your metrics in regards to SEO softwares are down to backlinks. So it's just basically high quality backlinks or links they consider valuable for some reason. That's basically it. But that's why, in general, in some cases, you could actually argue a lot of the SEO softwares themselves are still the ratings they use in some cases are still heavily inspired by PageRank of the past. PageRank was based on an algorithm which Google itself used to rely on heavily. Some people argue it still exists, some people don't. I'm not getting into arguments, it's my first video. But in general, getting back to this, you have to do research. You have to see if you can beat them. You have to work out what is exactly the cost you think is going to be. For example, if someone said to me, hey, I can only afford 3,000 a month, I'd be like, and you're trying to rank for health, I said, I'm afraid that won't work. You'll need more money. If you don't have more money, you can't rank. You have to pick something more, more varied or more easy to rank. For example, it could be like this: the best health tips in New York City. Now we can see we have a government property here, but don't let government property scare you off our websites. You can still outrank certain things like that. I'm just using this as an example. Like always, do your own research into things heavily. But generally, when you put more words in front of something, it does become more easy for you to rank because they're less competitive and you're less likely to be up against big competitors. So even find another good example. Just you can do is type in different words and see if the things come up. It's a good way. If you can't see any high authority sites, then you can rank quite easy. But be aware, if you don't see any competitors, that can in some cases mean it's simply no demand for it, it's no way you can make money. If there's no way to make money from it, unless it's something you're doing to, try and, increase your traffic, or that's all you're wanting, more traffic, then do it. But if you want to make money from it, you need something which is going to either allow you to sell a service, sell a product, or your client. If you can't do these other things, it's not really worth your ranking in most cases. I'll do another couple to get ideas. So let's go with, say, for example, a game quite popular. Let's go with, say, Final Fantasy, say, 7, history of the game. So let's see if something comes up. Don't let Wikipedia scare you off. Wikipedia itself can be beaten as long as your site's quality enough. You also see as well when it comes to Yandex itself, it'll basically mostly give face the data it'll give you, which will face you, will basically be in a lot of cases, things which are basically in a Russian language or a Slavic language of some kind. So you can see here, this means this could be quite a hard one to rank because in theory we'd have to take on Game Radar, which is a high quality site. Polygon's a high quality site. Wilkie.org would be quite hard to beat. So we might decide this is too competitive. And we might say, this is not for us, we'll do something else. But just because it's a hard to rank for keyword or keyword phrase, even in the long term, it doesn't mean you can't rank for it. You can still have a go and try. If you boost it forward to your general site, it will become more easy to rank for things like this or anything else. But in normal cases, your most competitive terms are 1 to 2 words. For example, the car, the dog, the frog. Anything short that people are going to likely type into Google will come up. For example, skincare. Anything basically 2 words will generally be harder for you to rank. It is possible to find 1 or 2 words which are easy to rank. It could simply be there's no demand, there's no competitors in the market, or very limited. For example, a trick you can do in some cases which can allow you to rank more easily would be something like this. Let's just say you're going to do an article about a new product which no one knows about, or it's only a small amount of people, say just 10 people in the world. If you're one of the 10 people in the world and you do the article first, then in theory that can allow you to do what's known as lunch jacking, where you basically take your first page of Google or first page of Yandex or another search engine, because in theory you're the first person to cover it. Because you're the first person to cover it, in some cases people will link to you thinking that you are the authority in that niche or in that keyword space because you're the first one to do it. So that itself can allow you to rank more easy if you do an article covering a new product or new service, because in theory you're the first one to cover it, so you get the first speed jump into action to basically get the link juice and get the rankings you want. And it kind of means in some cases you even appear in Wikipedia or other high authority sites in your niche because you're the first person to cover it. In theory, you by default rule have to take the first page of Google or search engines in a lot of cases. Now you can get beat in some cases when your competitors who have got say better quality sites than you on page or off page enter a market, but because you started it first, in some cases it may not beat you because Google might say no, he deserves to be there because he did it first, or she doesn't matter. So that's something you can use as well as a potential way to basically rank first for keyword or keyword phrases. But as always, do your research. Use Google itself to help you. Use Bing, use Yandex, use DuckDuckGo, or other search engines. You can use as many as you want, but in general, the basic ones you have to look at most cases for Western market would be Google itself, Bing, DuckDuckGo. I would say these are 3 main ones you do. You can do other ones if you want to. I mean, for example, it's a search engine about trees you could use. You can use many other ones, but like always, if you're trying to make your maximum sales, Google itself is still the biggest by far in the Western world for search traffic. So you have to try and rank first in Google, but it's still plausible for you to rank well in Bing and be able to make quite good money. So don't kick out Bing and think it's a horrible thing, you can't make money. It would still be plausible for you to rank first in Bing and make quite good money rather than just relying purely on Google. So you can have success even if you don't rank first on Google, you rank in another search engine. As long as it's getting traffic for its keywords, you still have a good chance of being able to rank first for these terms. And basically, that's really what you do for the simple parts of, you just type into Google whatever you want, you're trying to rank for, you type in the different things, whether you use Yandex or Bing or something else, you type in whatever keyword you're trying to rank for, you then check the first 5 sites and do some research, check your link profile. If your link profile is very high, it'll be harder for you to rank, so you have to then consider, do you have a budget or does your client have a budget? If they do, then you can do it. But like always, outranking a high authority site itself will take a lot longer in most cases compared to a new site or a site without much link building done. So be aware of these factors as always when you're trying to outrank them as a whole. And that should give enough information into sort of how you use the search engines to basically find information about your competitors. And with all, thanks, and have a good week.